Well, I've returned to the train museum. It's Sunday, and I have a very short amount of time here, but I just want to show you the model train room here. And it's actually kind of neat. You have this one train right here that's going back and forth, but then they have it set up somehow computerized, electronic, something. Maybe some guy in the back is flipping switches, I don't know. But some of these other trains in the background here look like they run kind of a loop or a pattern and stop, then another train goes along its way. So this is actually kind of nice for kids to look at it, to get involved with model railroading and miniatures. But in the back of my mind, I'm just wondering, where is Gomez Addams with his explosives and his, his detonator. You see the train going by. So this is kind of fun. This is something fun for the kids to watch and look at. And that's about it for this room. And you come back here, and this is the main exposition hall again. That's a Japanese bullet train, and then I need to go upstairs to take a look at the royal exhibits, and then across the way to the ephemera, and I'm done here. So I'll talk to you guys later. So I'm here on the upper deck, and there's like a research library here, I believe, but this gives you an idea how large this train shed is and how many different engines are here. Because I was wandering around this shed, but there's a turntable there in the center, and then you can see they have all these different trains slotted in here for people to look at. But what's neat is there's a couple like smaller cases here of some various display case items, which you don't really want on the main floor. But the neat thing is you have a small gallery of all these wonderful paintings, and so different eras, different times, really neat. And then various busts and everything else. And this case right here contains a couple of the royal lanterns. I'm assuming these were put in the very front of the train to light the way, but really relatively old. See here, commemorative headlamps for the Great Western Railroad, 1897, and commemorative headlamps, 1897, Great Western Railroad. So these are headlamps for the front of the train. And then some more of these paintings right here. And then there's a little display right here talking about the royal carriages, which happen to be in the goods shed across the way. Some various paintings here, which only really came into existence after the trains became more, I say commercialized, but the trains became part of everyday life. So new subject matter. So let's get over to the north shed and see what we can see. Okay, I'm here in the north shed, which to me feels like an overwhelming, like old antique shop, but this is part of their entire collection. And there's a little demo or talk going on here, but you can see all the shelves, all the memorabilia and items, and they're all coded here. So I'm assuming if you were able to pull up the inventory of the collection and you were looking for a specific item that was not on the main museum, you could probably come here and locate it with the assistance of a docent. But what I want to show you right here, which the video is explaining, this rather large tabletop train, it looks like a little model train set. This is actually an educational aid. And I believe I think his name is Tom Scott. He has a YouTube channel, I believe, if I got that right. There's one in Germany that they actually still use, but this was used, this whole setup right here was used to train linemen or switchmen on the railroad. And you can see everything is all color-coded. And the idea is you would have different men at different stations, and they would be trained to make sure that when the signals came up and the bells rang and everything else, that everything worked correctly. And then you would basically have a train go on the wrong set of tracks and then plow into something else. But it's really interesting. Back over there was a whole case full of model trains, segmented by type. So if you're a model train collector or carriage collector, like even right here, you have little model train sets, but this is a pretty amazing space. So I'll take some more photos as I see things that pop up that interest me, and maybe one more video, but that's about it. Well, I'm done with the north shed. I may wander around a little bit more, but just give you a quick overview just how large this is. So these are all these tall racks, all these different items that are either purchased or donated to the museum here. And there's just gobs and gobs of memorabilia. I mean, it's things that it's important memorabilia to share with people, but it's not necessarily telling a story like everything out there is. So to give you an idea just how large this thing is. And then once again, this is some working shops, and you can kind of tell these were built much later just because these are made out of cinder block connected to the brick exterior. But this is one of the train cabins up here, or train cars, along with the diesel engine down here. And then beyond the wall there is some restoration shops. I'm not sure if this was built during the functioning part of the roundhouse, or this was in a later addition after this became a museum, but you can definitely tell, I mean, it's all cinder block walls and everything else with doorways to let these items in and out. And you can tell there's 2 more bays that can bring trains in here, but this is just a shed full of stuff. And it was really, really, really interesting. So this is about it. So let's press on to the next part of the journey. One last quick video. It's this. I saw this earlier, and I just want to talk about this. This is a diagram, I believe, of the Flying Scotsman here, which is also talks about it. But this says 3-cylinder express passenger train, and this actually is a triple expansion engine, which is really neat to see that actually on a train. And I think I got to go over to the other bay and take a duck underneath the train once again to look at it. But you see here, this is your high pressure steam cylinder. Then you see here, you have your medium pressure steam cylinder, which is, you know, this allows a double expansion of the steam to get more value out of that steam pressure. And there's a third pit cylinder right here. And you can see it right here on the diagram. And that was my question yesterday, which I'm going to go take a look at in a few minutes, of this setup. Because mind you, these first 2 pistons here, you can access and surface them quite easily. The third set of gearing underneath here is much more harder to get to. So it would make sense here in Britain to have these types of setups because you had regular servicing facilities close by, or in the United States, especially in the West, since you had these great distances you had to travel, you didn't have the opportunity to have complicated workings like this, I believe, because there was no engine facility or a roundhouse maintenance facility to take care of these trains on a regular basis. And then once again, you can see here, all these are the stay bolts for the firebox. So that's pretty cool.